This is the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. After two back-to-back rounds of thrilling racing action in Dubai, the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East heads to the UAE capital for round 4. It's the halfway stage of an already exhilarating Season 8 campaign. Each category title chase is still wide open. Just 48 points separates the top 6 drivers in the overall standings. In the Gold Category Championship, leader Ryan Cullen has extended his lead at the top of the standings to 17 points after a clean sweep of wins at the Dubai Autodrome in round 3. On 123 points, Charlie Freinch is in second. UK driver Tom Oliphant currently in third position on 112 points. The silver and bronze categories are just as close, only 26 points separating the top 3 drivers in silver. In the bronze category, a mere 13 points between the top 3. With 50 championship points on offer over the 2 races in round 4, every championship class remains wide open going into the second half of the season. Strong finishes in both races of round 4 could result in a move up the table for any driver. The championship's reputation continues to attract the attention of racers from outside the region. Charlie Eastwood has followed his Carrera Cup Great Britain teammate Tom Oliphant and joined the grid in Abu Dhabi. The visiting driver will collect points this weekend, so the young Porsche scholar could potentially affect championship campaigns. For the first time in the championship's history, drivers will be racing the Grand Prix configuration of the YAS Marina circuit. That's 21 corners and 5.4 kilometres. It's a challenging blend of high-speed track and street circuit style configuration. Al-Faisal Al-Zubair knows the track well and takes us through one of his laps from the morning practice session.
Coming up, passing the main paddock, preparing for turn 1. We brake at almost the 100 board, hard braking zone, trying to keep it as close as possible to the apex, carrying a good exit. Here we stay quite tight to the left in 4th gear, turning here to the next right and trying to keep it on track, carrying as much speed. Here braking at around the 100 board, going down to 2nd gear. Car really on edge there, trying to keep it on track. Here we're down to 1st gear, tricky hairpin, trying to prepare for the long straight, around 400 meters, so carrying as much speed as possible out of the exit's very important. Preparing for the next turn, one of the hardest braking zones on circuit. Down to 2nd gear, hitting about 50 bar. Keeping it left there on 2nd gear. Good exit for another long straight. Passing the support paddock here. Getting closer to the next braking zone. We brake at around 150 meters. Another hard braking, touching the apex there. Very important to get a good line here. 2nd gear here. Trying to get a good exit for the next straight. Here we come on to one of the most difficult corners on track. Trying to carry as much speed, braking as late as possible while turning. The tires lock there easily, so getting a good sector there is very important. Under the hotel here, we keep it on 2nd gear. Try to carry as much speed everywhere, hit every apex. For last corner, 3rd gear, a very difficult corner. Coming to the last corner in 2nd gear, very important before the straight. Carry as much speed and maximize on the straight to prepare for the next lap.
Charlie Friends comes into the weekend needing to get back to winning ways to keep his target of a first championship win alive.
I think it could play as an advantage. So if I'm in front, I hope that Charlie will stay in front of Ryan, of course, that I can close the gap for the championship, and let's see after the race what's going to happen.
Irish Porsche scholar Charlie Eastwood made an impression in practice on his first outing at YAS, and with the new entrant eligible for championship points in this round, all eyes are watching to see how he'll factor into the weekend's races.
I mean, we've been racing each other since karting. We were in the same team then, we were in the same team in Porsche, so it's great he's out here. He's doing very well, both of us first time here, so it should be a good opportunity to have a close race.
We didn't go new tyre in practice where the guys in front did, so yeah, we're looking pretty promising for qualifying. We're going to go out, do what we need to do, and see where we end up.
Ryan Cullen's double win in round 3 have set him up with a comfortable lead as we head into the second half of the season. The Irishman seems to be enjoying having some breathing space at the top of the table.
Yeah, as usual. Been quick here in testing, been comfortable, relaxed, so should be good for qualifying.
Newcomer Eastwood has no problems adapting to the new circuit, sets a blistering pace, taking pole by over half a second.
Yeah, we sort of got onto the track pretty quickly. I'd done some simulator work and stuff before, so I sort of knew where it was going. But we've just been progressively getting faster and faster, and basically you just put everything that you've learnt over the last 2 days straight into this one qualifying. And that's what we've done, and yeah, came home with the best result.
Charlie Friends bags a vital second position on the grid, keeping him ahead of championship rival Cullen, who may be slightly disappointed to record the third fastest time.
Pole position would have been nice, but Ryan is in second row, so that's where our eyes are going to. I think great lap from Charlie. I don't know what happened, but where he found that big gap. But anyway, great lap from him, and I expect a good race today afternoon.
Ryan Cullen is back in 5th position on the grid after having 2 of his qualifying times deleted for exceeding track limits.
I was going for pole. You have to try and win, and giving me a lap which was 3rd, and then they gave me 5th. From 3rd I was still hopeful I could have won, but now 5th is going to be a bit more difficult, I think. So I mean, it's good for people to watch, not me being out in front for once. So yeah, should be alright.
It's another standout qualifying performance from Alfazal Al-Sabir as he takes 4th position and once again takes the challenge to the gold class drivers.
Yeah, so it's the fastest time we've done all weekend, so that's a positive. Proves we're learning and learning. We're happy with how we've been going. We struggled a bit in testing, but good data, good learning, each session getting faster and faster, so we're happy with it.
Race 1 takes place under the signature floodlights, and for the first time in the championship's history, drivers will be racing on the full Grand Prix configuration of the track. That's 21 corners and a lap distance of 5.54 kilometres. It's a great start from Paul for Eastwood, and he heads into the first corner ahead of Charlie Friends. Alfazal Al-Sabir makes a terrible start from 4th, and Ryan Cullen's quick to take advantage as he makes up for a poor qualifying session. Cullen's up to 3rd in the first corner, right behind championship rival Charlie Friends, and he's already looking for a way past. Pereira takes advantage of the confusion ahead, and he heads into the first corner side by side with Al-Sabir. Both drivers are using all the track on the exit of turn 1. Al-Sabir leaves plenty of room, but there's contact. They stay side by side and door to door through turn 2. Great close racing from the young drivers. It's Pereira who wins this battle. Al-Sabir has lost out from the start, but still holds the silver class lead. Oliphant now behind Al-Sabir and is pressurising the Omani racer hard all around the first lap. Saudi driver Bandar Al-Assay is currently 2nd in silver class, and he's putting pressure on Triller as they both chase class leader Al-Sabir. Al-Assay tries to take the position as they speed down to the hairpin. They head into the tight chicane together, but Bandar can't hold the position and has to back off, compromising his line through the complex of corners. Salih Yolik from Turkey is quick to take advantage, and now Bandar is on the defensive as they start the long drag down the 1.2 kilometre straight. Banda's on the inside for the tight chicane, but it's Jolik who breaks late, and he's going to try to get to the inside line for the exit. He's left his braking too late though, and can't stay on the track. He's off to the outside. Banda should be safe. Jolik isn't giving up though, and he shortcuts the chicane to rejoin in front of Alisei. Does Banda feel that move may not have been entirely fair? Up ahead, Oliphant is getting ready to make his move on Al Faisal. The British racer makes his move at the end of the long back straight. He's outbraked himself and he's off the track. He rejoins in front of Al Faisal, but he'll have to concede the place. Wolfgang Triller is through as well at the tricky off-camber turn 14. That's a nightmare for Oliphant, who's ended up behind the two silver class rivals. Oliphant sets about recovering his position and is chasing down Triller. Once past Triller, he sets his sights on Al Zubair. Banda Alisei is chasing down Sally Jolik to take back 8th position. At the end of the main straight, they're side by side again. This time it's Banda that brakes late. He struggles to keep the car on the line as he's braking, and this time it's Banda who runs wide. Another shortcut across the chicane, and this time it'll be Banda who comes out ahead as they head down the back straight. Alisei shows the younger racer how it's supposed to be done. He gives back the place he's gained by going off track. Banda is quickly back onto Sally Jolik and pressurising for the pass as they enter the tight hotel section. A bold move from Banda down the inside, but he takes the place despite robust defending from Jolik. At the front, Charlie Eastwood is continuing to pull away from Ryan Cullen. Almost 4 seconds between them now. 8 seconds cover the front 4 cars after just 3 laps. The leader's position's looking well established already. Eastwood is setting blistering lap times at the front of the field. By lap 5, he's got a 5-second cushion over Cullen. It doesn't look like Ryan's going to get the battle with his fellow Irishman that he was hoping for in this race. As the pack comes through turn 16 and into the tight hotel section, Isabel Salman seems to brake unexpectedly and Bergstrom is caught out. He spins as he tries to slow mid-corner, and that's a big impact. Both cars can continue, so there's no need to stop the race. But it's clear Bergstrom's got mechanical issues after the crash. And Al Khalifa has to head to the pits too with damage to the steering. That's a blow for Al Khalifa. He'll lose the top spot in the bronze category to Magnus Oman. At the line, it's newcomer Eastwood who makes an impressive debut both in the series and on the YAS Marina circuit.
Yeah, we got off to a good start, the first sector and things, at a bit of battling behind me, and then we were able to sort of charge away, and halfway through the lap they started to distangle, and that's when I sort of took my chance to go, and yeah, we pushed for sort of 3-4 laps to try and get the gap, and then just managed it from there really.
Ryan Cullen takes second and extends his championship lead over third place finisher Charlie Fringe.
Yeah, I think 5th after the penalty is a bit disappointing, but I think I pretty much showed that if I was on the front row, it maybe would have been different, or would have been much closer with me and Eastwood. So, I mean, yeah, he drove well. I thought I drove well. So, I couldn't really catch him. It was tit for tat, and fair play to him, he's jumped in and done the job.
Well, first lap, not only first lap, I think the whole race. I mean, the first 2 guys were just quicker at the moment, and I don't know, we have to find something tomorrow to improve. But anyway, tomorrow we have new tires and we're going to go for it again. So, well, not the result what we hope for. We hope to close the gap a little bit, but the gap only keeps bigger. So,
in the silver category, they finished the race as they stand in the championship. Al Zubair leading from Alisei and Triller in third.
Yeah, it was pretty close. The car didn't feel great, to be honest. But yeah, I think it was fine. Winning my classes was the main 2 goals.
الحمد لله انطلاقتي كانت كويسة، ما خسرت ولا كسبت أماكن. وبعدين في اللفة الأولى تعداني سيارة تعدتني، فأخذت مني وقت لما رجعت أتعداها. وبعدين على نهاية السباق صار شوية قربت من وولفغانغ، والحمد لله اللفة اللي قبل الأخيرة لفت عليه السيارة وقدرت أتعداه. خلصت المركز السابع والمركز الثاني في الفئة الفضية الحمد لله.
Sweden's Magnus Åhman is leading the bronze category finishers. With 12 points for 10th place, he takes the lead in his championship. With bronze championship second and third place men Al Khalifa and Bergstrom out of action, Austria's Philipp Seger and Holland's Rob Freins will take the second and third steps on the bronze podium.
Well, we were chasing with 4 cars. I was the 4th car. We were in a row, and at the hotel corner I had a little too much speed, and the guy in front of me braked a little earlier. So I tried to avoid him. So I was turning right, and the car spun. So I was going backwards, and in the right turn, he hit me in the rear. So the car was bent. So he's totally lost the car. Yeah.
During the race weekend, all eyes are on the drivers and their Porsche GT3 Cup race cars. However, sometimes the racers find themselves in the spotlight for the wrong reasons. Once the driver's well-being is assured, it's all hands on deck for the team behind them as they demonstrate their experience and readiness working against the tight deadlines of a race weekend. In Saturday morning's test session, it's young Dylan Pereira who's getting everyone's attention. First as he sets the pace, but later when he brings out red flags on the circuit with an accident at the tricky hotel section of the track.
We went 2 tenths quicker, and then the next lap I tried to improve a little bit where you can improve, and yeah, that's went wrong, and it just kisses the wall, and yeah, now the car was damaged.
With just a couple of hours between practice and qualifying, it's time for the mechanics to tackle a race of their own to restore the cars to action for the next race. It's a rare chance for us to get a glimpse of some of the behind-the-scenes personalities who make up the support operation required to deliver a thrilling racing season.
Luckily that all mechanics helped me to build the car for the qualifying, so I'm quite happy that they helped me, and so I'm looking forward for the qualifying.
Mechanics are just one of a range of professionals who work to bring us high-octane thrills.
We wanted him to come to a track that he's not been to, and preparation was key, so he goes out on the track and hits the ground running. So no, it's been mega. Lechner have done a great job with the whole thing, and yeah, really impressed. Recommend the series.
Each one shares the same passion as the competitors on track. That passion is what drives them to find a way to apply their personal skills to the sport they love. For some young hopefuls, that journey will start with a trip to a race weekend.
We watched the race yesterday, yeah, and so we're here again to watch some more.
It would be my dream to drive one of these.
And if they want to turn that enthusiasm into a career, it will require commitment from a very early age.
Yeah, so the scholarship program is over 2 years. So at the end of 2015, we went through a shootout with 30-odd drivers through an interview stage, and then went into the final 4, went through media assessment, fitness assessment, and then an assessment in the car. So at the end of year awards in 15, they announced that I got the scholarship. So yeah, it's all sort of took off from there, and they support me financially, and the big thing for me is having my foot in the door with Porsche to try and speed up my career, and sort of the dream is to never be out of a Porsche until I stop, really.
I have school, so I don't want to miss a lot, so I just take the first plane I get, I take them, and I just went to school, and so I'm there at lunchtime at Luxembourg, so I just ask my friends what they have done at school and just repeat everything, and then I go to school on Monday, and then we see if I have done everything, so it's great. And then I have the writing one test where I missed it on a Thursday, sorry. And yeah, so I have 3 tests in the week. It's quite busy, but then I have holiday, so I can relax.
No, I'm still in high school. For next year maybe. If I pass my year, yeah. And yeah.
Pereira heads out early to check his car, and it looks like he's in good shape to mount a challenge for pole. In the silver class, Alisei outqualifies category leader Al-Zubair and gives himself the best chance to reduce his rival's championship lead in the race. Another tough session for Charlie Freins. He's going to have a lot to do in the race this afternoon. Eastwood has topped every session so far this weekend. With only the final race to go, he fancies his chances of making it a clean sweep. It's a great qualifying session for Tom Oliphant.
Yeah, no, we've been quick all weekend, and you know, it's just yesterday was a really bad day. We've been in the top 3 every session. So yeah, no, I'm really pleased to come third and just to be a little bit off Ryan, which is really good. You know, close the gap. It's a really difficult track, and you know, there's people out there with a lot more experience. So you know, for me to finish third and Charlie to obviously put it on pole, never seen the track before in our lives. I think it's a pretty good result.
He's looking forward to racing with his Carrera Cup GB teammate on the famous Formula 1 circuit.
Yeah, it's a good starting point for the year. We'll be racing together with Redline in Carrera Cup GB this year, so yeah, it's good to get out here and see where we're at compared to sort of everyone else around the world, basically. And then yeah, get us ready for the season.
Yeah, no, I mean we've had some very close races in England all last year and in our karting days as well, and just because he's starting on pole doesn't mean I can't get in front of him. It's going to be tight at the front. I think there's going to be 3 or 4 cars fighting for the lead. Just can't let anybody get away.
As they line up on the grid, it's an all-Irish front row, and Cullen will have the race with compatriot Charlie Eastwood that he was hoping for.
My lap was pretty good. I did a good job. Tried to do a consistent lap without going off to try and not get any time taken away this time. So P2, 3/10s, I think, just under 4/10s, so it's not bad. Front row and new tyres for the race.
Overtaking is notoriously difficult on the Abu Dhabi circuit, so the first corner is going to be absolutely vital. Cullen and Pereira both get a great start off the line on the left-hand side of the grid. On the right, Paulson Eastwood is slower to get away. Charlie Freins launches off the line from 5th, while it seems that third-place sitter Oliphant directly in front of him has had a slower getaway. Freins has a huge speed advantage and needs to find a way past Oliphant. He goes to the left, but Tom is quick to react and moves across the block, the Qatar-based racer. But Oliphant leaves Freins just enough space and he's ahead. With Oliphant going defensive, Pereira is the beneficiary. Charlie Freins close behind, and as they reach that crucial first corner, it's Cullen and Eastwood side by side as they turn in. Pereira close behind in third. Pereira sees an opportunity from the battling cars ahead and takes a cautious line. Charlie Freins is close behind as they brake for the tight left-hander. But Tom Oliphant is not ready to see his great qualifying performance come to nothing, and the British driver brakes late and heads to the outside. At the front, Cullen has held his line through the corner, and Eastwood is showing why the dusty outside line is a disadvantage. Eastwood runs wide, he's off the track, he won't find much grip out there. Pereira takes advantage and he'll have the inside line and a pace advantage as they turn uphill into turn 2. Oliphant makes the outside line work though, and he's ahead of Charlie Freins as they head up the hill. Eastwood is struggling on dirty tyres as he heads up into the second left-hander. Meanwhile, the left side of the grid starters, Cullen and Pereira, are up into first and second position. As they head down to the hairpin, Oliphant has Pereira in his sights. Oliphant keen to make the most of racing at the front, and he's up to second as they head down the long back straight. Just behind, Eastwood is mounting a challenge on Pereira. Pereira has just kept himself ahead though. He must feel he's got the line as they brake for the slow left-hander. Eastwood is still going for the inside line. There's contact, and Eastwood's car hits Pereira on the left-hand side at the back. Pereira spins, and he's right at the back of the pack. Well, we wondered whether Eastwood might stir up the championship, but nobody expected this. Eastwood can continue and is up to third position. Behind Eastwood, Bander Alizé is challenging Charlie Freins for 4th spot. The Saudi driver is looking to maximise his points potential ahead of his championship rival, Al-Faisal Al-Zubair. It's the end of the back straight. Alizé is challenging Freins into the long braking zone and through the tight sequence of turns, and he's through. Freins will have to react if he wants to limit the damage to his own championship hopes. Dylan Pereira is setting about the task of recovering from his tangle with Eastwood. The first car in his sights is Qatar businessman Rob Freins. Rob's in trouble at the end of the long straight, and Pereira will make his move. There's contact between the two cars. Pereira's through though, and he's looking to make up positions quickly through the field. Charlie Eastwood is chasing fellow GB Cup racer Tom Oliphant for second. The Porsche Scholar goes through. Basha Mardini looking to find a way past Sally Jolik. There's contact, and Mardini is off. There doesn't seem to be any damage though, and he's able to continue. Pereira takes advantage of the action ahead as he's working his way through the pack. Silver category rivals Wolfgang Triller and Alfaisal Al-Zubair are having their own battle for 6th position, but Al-Zubair runs wide as they approach the hotel. Triller goes through, and this is turning into a tough race for the category leader. At the start of the 5th lap, a drive-through penalty is issued to Charlie Eastwood for his first lap incident with Dylan Pereira. Dylan Pereira has caught Sally Jolik as they approach the hotel. Dylan looks for a way through, but there's contact as the young driver's incident pack race continues. Pereira are assessed drive-through penalties as the organisers move to control the driver's conduct. Charlie Frines has been chasing Alizé since he lost that position to him on the first lap. On lap 8, finally he passes the silver category racer for 4th as they head down the hill to the hairpin. It's now 4 laps after the drive-through notification was shown to Eastwood, and he still hasn't served his penalty. It's a black flag for the young Irishman, who's now excluded from the race and is obliged to return to the pits and stop. At the checkered flag, Ryan Cullen is back to winning ways and extends his championship lead.
Yeah, it was a good race. Got a good start. Led the race. Could see something going on behind me, so I seen a black and white drive-through penalty for Charlie. So I seen him coming, so I didn't put up much of a fight. I'm in the championship. He's a guest driver. I let him go, and then I regained the lead of the race.
Tom Oliphant delighted with 2nd place as he continues to improve in preparation for the Carrera Cup GP season this summer.
This weekend we made big steps forward pace-wise. I've raced well all year, so now we just need to go to Bahrain and try and claim a victory.
3rd place finisher Charlie Frines.
Yeah, well, okay, I think it's pretty solid round in what you say, 2 times 3rd position, but I mean, Ryan was 2nd yesterday and 1st today, so I lost again 6 points to him. But anyway, from a race today, I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, I had a good start, and then I was mixed up in a big mess up. I don't know what happened everywhere, but then I lost 1 position and I had some problems to overtake Banda. Once I went past, I could take a gap, but the guys in front of me were too far away. So
he's still 2nd in the championship. He's going to have to work very hard to close down Cullen's 23-point lead in the final 2 rounds. In the silver class, Alizé leads from Al-Zubair with Triller in 3rd. It's a 2nd bronze class win of the weekend for Marcus Ullman, with an encouraging 2nd place for series returner Hamad Al Khalifa. 3rd on the podium going to Bergstrom in his new and now battle-scarred GT3 Cup race car. It's been another tough day for Isa bin Salman Al Khalifa, who finishes 4th in bronze class. He arrived at Abu Dhabi with a 5-point championship lead. Now he's in 2nd and 10 points behind. And we'll need to keep an eye on the fast improving Christopher Bergstrom in 3rd in class. The big season finale is still 1 race weekend away. Before that, season 8 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East continues back at Bahrain International Circuit